today we are going to make a collage, but we are really focusing on radial balance. Now, what radial balance is it's a form of symmetry, but it's a balance that starts in the middle and it gets bigger and it stays equal as it goes out, okay? So it starts in the center, and as it goes out, the left looks like the right and the top looks like the bottom. It all looks exactly the same when it goes from inward outward. So if you think of like a kaleidoscope, that's one of those little things you look in and you look up at the sky and it kind of twists around. You see all these different colors, and that's what that is, okay? So what a collage is something kind of like what we're doing right here, and it's a mixed media art form, and it involves gluing a variety of different materials onto a surface. So our surface is going to be a piece of paper, whether you have construction paper, notebook paper, copy paper, whatever you have at home, some scrapbook paper, anything you want it to be is fine. And then it's going to require gluing. So you need to have a glue stick. If you don't have a glue stick, you need a bottle of glue or some tape. Now, if you don't have any of those, it is going to be fine. I still want you to complete the project and just lay it out so you get the concept of what radial balance is, and I need you to create radial balance, okay? So I'm going to have my sheet of paper, my blank sheet of paper that I'm going to start off with, and I'm going to need a glue stick, and I'm going to need a pair of scissors and a pencil or a marker if you want. I recommend if you're using a marker, use one. If you're using like magazines and stuff, we use a permanent marker so it doesn't smear, or not necessarily permanent, but a non-washable marker maybe. Okay, and then you need a circle. Something that you're going to need to use to trace. So I have here the lid to an icing that I made a quarantine cake. So this was the icing to my quarantine cake that I made. But you can use a cup, you can use the lid to a coffee cup or a glass bowl, anything you want, but you only need one thing. So whatever you are choosing, that's going to be your circle, your size circle. Technically you can use different size circles and all that, but that's not what we're doing today. If you want to get fancy and do all of that after this, that's a-okay with me. So so what you're going to do is we are going to think about some things that we should know, and this is where Mrs. Klein's going to throw some math in on you, and you are going to think about your wholes and your halves and your fourths and your eighths, okay? So keeping these measurements and these concepts, and we're going to keep referring to these as we move through the process of creating our radial balance collage, okay? So what we need to do is get our scraps that we needed. I told you guys to like be working on saving like newspaper clippings. Here's some notebook paper. This is the back of a cereal box that I already cut out. Anything like that, or some advertisements, like this kind of like, you know, junk and mail stuff that we get all the time. Some of us love it, some of us don't. You know, a little home magazine thing that came in the mail. Any of this kind of stuff is great stuff because it's stuff that you might not use and you might end up recycling anyway. So we're going to get a chance to use it to make some art. So anything that your family will let you cut, not books or anything like that. Please don't do that. But anything like magazines and stuff like that with the permission of your family, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, aunties, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, any of those people say it's okay, then you can cut it, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to start off with your paper, and to get your paper prepped, you are going to need to find the center, okay? So the way we do that is we fold it once, and then we fold it twice, okay? And by folding it once, folding it twice, we open it back up, and then we have the center of our paper, okay? And it kind of gives us a line this way and a line this way to kind of judge off of, okay? So what we need to do is we need to get our first magazine, newspaper, junk mail, whatever we have, and our circle. And we want to try to do something where we create our circle that has a lot of similar colors within it. I know sometimes that might be hard, but if you try, it kind of helps bring unity to the circle itself, okay? So I'm just going to set that right there, and I'm going to trace it. Again, I'm doing it with a pencil, so I don't know if you can see it very well on the screen, but I can see it, and that's all that matters. But if you feel like you do it with a pencil and you can't see it with a pencil, at home, of course, like use a marker or something like that, okay? So I have I've drawn my circle, and so now I'm going to cut out my circle, okay? Also, a little cutting information. I want you to notice my scissors as I cut. My scissors don't really move a lot. It's really just the paper that moves. And when we cut, that should always kind of be the case. You can move your scissors if you want, but ideally it should be more the paper moving and not the scissors moving. So so you can kind of see my scissors kind of stayed this way. They didn't go like all like this. They kind of just stayed like that as I was cutting my circle. Okay. And again, I got some lights so that way this stuff looks bright, and it puts a little shine on the paper sometimes, so I can't see very well sometimes. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have my first circle, okay? So I'm gonna do that a few more times, which I've already done. And you can see here, this is not very, you know, symmetrical. This is very even, not so much, and that's fine. The content of your circle doesn't matter as much as just trying to get like some kind of similar colors. And that came off of a waffle box. So just making sure you kind of have a variety of colors. It could be something or nothing. It doesn't matter. Okay. So so I've already done that. So you're going to want to do that, and you might want to just cut them out as you go. I'm not sure. But that's what I already did. Okay. Get my bearings here. Okay, so you're going to take your circle and you're going to remember back on your fractions, okay? So here we have a whole, and if I cut it in half, I'd have halves, fourths, and eighths, okay? So for starting this one out, I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half, okay? And when I fold it in half, just a foldy, and then I'm going to cut it as neatly as I possibly can. Okay, let me move this guy out of the way. Okay, so fold. So I could start something like that if I wanted. I could do something like this if I wanted. But for the sake of this project, I am going to do this. Okay. And again, I'm not going to glue anything down right now because I am the kind of person that probably wants to kind of like lay it out and try it out before I glue it, but you are more than welcome to glue as you go. Also, if you don't have affixing materials like that, this is what you're going to do. You're just going to lay it out and work with it and play with it, okay? So there's my first. I have the halves, okay? And now I'm going to get another circle and I'm going to do my fourths. So to do fourths, you fold it in half once, and then you fold it in half twice, okay? So we open it back up and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I'm going to be very, very careful, and I'm going to cut it in half, okay? And I'm gonna cut that in half, and then I'm gonna cut that in half, okay? And now I'm going to lay these out however I choose. And I think I am going to change it up as I'm going along and start off this way, and this way. Okay, so this is a really good example to show you too, because if I said, okay, I'm done, this is no type of symmetry. It doesn't show us anything. It's not letting us know that we understand symmetry. So make sure when you're doing it that your pieces, you know, look how they're supposed to. So really think about what you're doing, okay? So right now it's not really radial symmetry so much because all we have is a left and a right. So we want to make sure that we're kind of like working on building the top and the bottom also, okay? So here I have another one that I already cut out. And so we're going to work on eighths. So I'm going to fold it in half once, fold it in half twice, and that's where I get my my fourths. Sometimes you might hear me say quarters because I'm used to saying that, but it is fourths. Okay, and now we have our eighths. Okay, so you can see here that that fits in to our eighths. Okay, so we're going to open that up, and then we are going to, oh so carefully, pull out our scissors and cut. Okay, so we have cut it once, cut it twice, cut it again, and again, and ooh, Mrs. Klein, I got a little fast on that and I messed it up. That's all right. And remember with your art, it's process over product, okay? What we care about is that we're learning and that we're understanding what we're doing. If it doesn't turn out exactly how we wanted it to, it's okay. You can try again. So just make sure that you are really thinking about your balance on this, okay? So if you messed up a little bit like I did on that little piece, it's okay. All right. So think about how you want this. There we go. I like that. And then maybe something like, okay. And remember that ideally, when you're cutting, you should have enough to put on every single piece. You should have something on the top, something on the side, and something on the bottom as you're going, okay? So now I'm going to do it again. Now I already have some pieces that I cut right here into eighths. So I'm gonna go ahead and use those. They were already cut again into eighths. So I'm gonna go ahead and use those here. Okay, and let's see, one right there and one right there. Actually, let's do it like that, and like, actually I think I want to change these pieces because those two look very similar, and that gives us a little bit of variety. Okay. All right, so yay, that's exciting. Okay, and then for my friends that don't have a lot of, you didn't save your stuff or you forgot or something like that, you can always just do like notebook paper or construction paper if you have that kind of stuff laying around the house. So we can come in here, maybe separate those, add that a little bit like that, and come in here, separate those a little bit like that. All right, then same thing here. We're going to separate those a little bit, and we can actually, I don't know about that. What do you think about that? Yeah, we'll do it like that. And then that was actually a grilled cheese. I keep wanting to say move to grilled cheese. That was a picture of a grilled cheese. All right. And there you go. Okay, so from here I would glue this down and I would be happy and satisfied, and I'd be complete with my art. So remember, from here it is up to you what you do. I'll show you this example again. This example is just a very basic one. We cut it into fourths, and then we took another circle and we cut it into eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we took another and we cut it into fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is no right or wrong. You can see how, oops, I kind of messed that one up when I moved it. But you can see how very different they are, but yet they're the same because they are showing balance and symmetry, radial balance. So it's from the center outward that it's working together as a whole. Okay, so it's even no matter which way we turn it. So we turn it like that, it's still even, and it's still even. Pardon me, some of my stuff has moved, and then it is still even. Okay, so remember that is the purpose of this exercise. Okay, so you're going to create your radial balance art, focusing on your symmetry, top, bottom, left, right, making sure you're cutting those circles nice and neatly. That way you can cut them into your fractions nice and neatly, remembering the whole. You can use a whole piece if you want, but your halves and your fourths and your eighths. And then from here, remember, it is not required that you upload your artwork to Teams. It is not required that you show me your art at all. I do love seeing your art. I really, really do. And so that's why I created the art channel. So if you want to put your art on the art channel, you can. And then that way your other friends can see it. I have a lot of people doing these projects and the different projects and the optional projects and doing different grade level projects and showing us on all those channels. And that's great. So if you want to do that, that is fine. But remember, it is not required. What is required is for you to do the assignment and then to click turn in. If you do not click turn in, I cannot give you credit for that assignment because I don't know that you did it. I can see that you viewed it, but I don't know that you did it if you don't click turn in. So please make sure that you do that, okay? So if you have any questions, let me know, and happy creating.